where do we want to put the boat when we get out there? That's the question. So we look at the wind. So look up at my wind indicator on other boats for confirmation. Those wind indicators are working, they're loose.
Yeah, yours is broken.
So you always want confirmation. If I looked at my wind indicator and said, oh, the wind's coming out of the west, I would be fooled and I would put my boat on the wrong side.
Just look what the boats are doing on the dock and you'll see which way the wind is. They're all pointing into here.
Today, the wind happens to be coming almost straight down the dock. If you look at the other wind indicators. So you could probably today, right now, put the boat on either side of the dock because they will probably trail back the same way. But that just happens to be today. So today we want to launch the boat and put it over there. So we want to get the boat here. Which direction are we going to put it in first? Bow first or stern first? No, not the bow. We're going to take, since we're on an arc, we're going to be rolling this boat. Once we hook her up, we're going to be rolling her out this way, so we want the bow to point to the dock where we're going to take it. So that once we get it in the water, we can grab our line, our painter, we can drag our boat right over to the dock and tie it up and then do whatever else it is we're going to do. So we got to think of the wind direction, we have to think of alignment here, and we have to think of what side of the dock we want to be on. The wind is really the determining factor on that. Simple thing, and it's not, you get used to it, but it's part of launching a boat from a hoist at a facility like ours. So let's see if we can line this boat up now and put it in position. You want to push this one? No.
Students do it.
So the center line of this boat is marked by the, you see the center board. Okay? And we're in pretty good shape right there. Oh my goodness, I forgot one other thing. Got to be careful because you don't want to wreck your mast with the hoist.
The white line on the parking lot indicates the center line of the hook as it swings around.
This little clip is a very big safety feature because it keeps the ring in. Sometimes that won't be there, it'll be broken off. If that's the case, tell somebody, tell one of the guys who helps run the club so that we can fix it. But you want to pick up the slack, please? Sure. That's the next thing you want to do is take up the slack.
But before you do this, you have to make sure that your boat has the plug in.
Very good.
Otherwise it's going to be big trouble.
One other thing I want to point out to you. Notice how this is on both sides, one side of the boom and on the other side of the boom. What that does is it creates balance. If you had both on the same side, as you raise the boat would tip. So this keeps the boat centered and keeps balance. So the plug is, of course, back here. Everybody knows what a plug is. It's the drain plug, right? Now, I think Emilio, me, and everybody who's had a boat has forgotten this plug at one time or another. And you usually find out when you say, I thought I drained all that water out before I left the dock. And you
normally
haven't.
it happened only once. The second time you remember.
So you always keep your plug out when it's on land because you're usually starting off tilting the boat down and draining it of water that's accumulated from the rain. Then you get here and you're like, oh, I forgot the plug. Oh. Next thing we need to do when we're launching a boat is we need to untie it from the bow. So this is the trailer tie down. Maybe you know how to use these, maybe you don't, but there's a little bitty dog paw, they call it here, that stops the T from rolling. We loosen that, we take that off, we're ready to launch. The next thing we want to position is this line here. This is the bow eye. Now, terminology is important in sailing because that way everybody's speaking the same language all the time. If I say, put the painter on the bow eye, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about hooking it somewhere else on the boat, and I'm not talking about a different line. I'm talking about the painter. That's what this is technically called. So the painter stays on because it's going to help you. You want to make sure it's nice and loose. you want to get it back over here. It's going to help you direct the boat once you get it in the water, and it's also going to help you pull the boat over to the dock. All right, so the last thing I'm going to do is look around. Is everything looking the way it should? I've got the boat untied. I've taken off my strap. There's usually a strap that ties it to the trailer. I've got all the other lines done. I think we're ready to go. So Emilio, would you please hoist the boat?
Sure. Clear?
Clear. And then we start pushing it back. As soon as we get clear of the trailer, we just do a little bit of a push to get the boat out. And when we get the boat out, we want the arm of the hoist perpendicular to the dock. That way it'll lower without hitting the seawall. Take it all the way perpendicular. There we go. So you can see how easy that worked. It doesn't bang into the seawall. You're not dropping it on anything. And we've launched the boat.
You want me to do it?
Would you please? Emilio then steps in or down and he unhooks the chain.
One thing, when you do this operation, you have to commit to the ladder or to the boat. If you have one foot on the ladder and the other on the boat, and the boat flag goes away, you are in the water. Okay?
One other thing about being on a boat, I will just tell you right now, when you get on a boat, unlike walking around, have a hand on something. Grab this, grab that, grab the mat, have a 3-point stand, left foot, right foot, and your arm. Grab something. Your shoes might be slippery, the boat might be slippery. I fell a year ago and it was not fun. First the guy waxed the boat, you know that part. He waxed the boat. So the trailer has to be moved, and typically we put them back in the nearest available space. Sometimes there are open spaces down here. Sometimes it's hot, we don't want to push them up the hill, so we get them out of the way, out of the driveways, if you will, and get them out of the way. So I have a long feature on my boat, so I can really stretch it out. I can get it. Get it over to the ram.
Now, careful here.
Careful. And then just stop it with your foot.